Um, like Bon Jovi or Slash, 'di ba? Parang
Yeah, no, they were the bands that made me want to be in a band. Like, I would see their videos, and then it's
yeah,
like it just looked so much fun. So it's parang I didn't really think of I didn't like take steps. Hindi kasi ako planner and I didn't take steps to get somewhere, but it was just like I would daydream about it like in school like parang that's so much fun to do. Like running around on stage like that. It just seemed like a lot of fun. So, yun lang, I just daydreamed about it. And then yeah, and then it was so I started writing songs.
right, yeah.
Pero wala akong plan din. Yun nga, kasi yun nga, I grew up in Rojas City and in Iloilo. So there were not really any like places to play. Parang there's no music scene, that I was
Yeah.
aware of. So, and none in parang even if my whole family, most of them played instruments and sang, none of them really did it for a living. Except for I had one tita who graduated from UST, I think, like voice. So she got to travel,
Right.
parang alam mo yun, parang siyang part ng choir, parang school choir
Yeah.
or something like
Oh,
that. So she got to travel around, so she's the only one who really parang played music outside of like our church or our house.
yeah.
So hindi ko inisip na na merong path sa music na gano'n. So wala lang, hobby ko lang talaga siya. And then I was in college when I
Yeah.
met somebody who kind of mentored me na parang ayan, you can make a demo, you can send it to record labels, so you can take
Ah,
actual steps
okay.
to get to move your band forward. It was through them
Yeah.
na. Mm.
I was gonna ask nga, and I think you already mentioned it. You grew up in the province in Rojas City and Iloilo.
Yes.
Uh,
Mm.
what was that like? What was your childhood like there?
Well, I grew up in a port it's like port and fishing village. So nasa dulo siya ng Rojas City. So at
Wow.
that time, wala yung TV stations hindi umaabot sa amin. I can only watch TV, like local TV, whenever I go to my grandparents' house because they lived in the middle of the city,
Right. Yeah.
So, and on the radio, I didn't really listen to a lot of radio. Parang lagi nung sa radio yung Ocean Deep, naalala mo ba yung Ocean Deep?
Yeah.
Nakanta.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah naman.
Yun yung palagi ko naalala naririnig ko sa radio. I don't know how many stations we had. Maybe we had one. I don't know. But so it was that. So in terms of the things that I got to listen to, it was whatever my mom and liked. She liked the Beatles. She liked Barbara Streisand, and she liked
Yeah.
kung ano-ano. It was really her influence. And then, of course, in high school, I had classmates who would have
Yeah.
parang relatives yata. When they had like relatives from Manila who would like, make tapes for them or something like that. Like parang papadalan sila ng ito yung bagong alam mo yan, ito yung Warrant, pakinggan mo yung Warrant, pakinggan mo si kung ano-ano pa,
Oh.
gano'n. It was like I had classmates
Okay.
who introduced me to some cool music, and that's how that's how I learned more about music from my classmates in school. So
That's awesome. Okay, here's like a funny question. I hope you don't mind if I ask this, but I've always wondered. So your real name is Yvette Barbara, right?
that's
And
right.
but of
Yeah.
course everyone calls you Barbie. I'm curious if you
Yeah.
yourself if you ever played with Barbie dolls.
Of course.
You
Although
did.
I did have a Barbie like bus, like van.
Okay.
Baka uso yun nung bata ko. It was like a van, like a motorhome, like a trailer, like that,
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Barbie's house van. But I turned it to a skateboard. I used to ride it.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know. That's how I play. I guess I played with Barbie in my own way. But yeah, definitely.
that satisfies my curiosity. Anyway, so I mean, I personally, I first got to know you as a member of Hungry Young Poets. Back in the was that late
So I'm not
nineties.
that much older than you then, huh?
No, no, no. We're all young. So yeah, I'm curious. How did that group get together, and that name? How did you come up with that name for that band?
Okay. Oh, yeah. So yeah. So like I said earlier, nga, I had written songs, pero wala akong plan talaga.
Yeah,
It was more of a music was like a daydream lang, if anything. So I was in school. I was studying business management, and I
right.
was in an accounting class. Uh, I was writing a song, parang, scribbling a song on my notebook in
Uh-huh.
class. And then yung seatmate ko noticed. So sabi niya nga parang, "What are you doing?" Yun nga, I said a song, gano'n. And then he introduced himself, and then he whipped out his wallet na may accordion. Ano mo yun, yung accordion photo ano,
Yes,
'di ba
yes,
yung
I
wallet,
remember that.
gano'n, gano'n.
School now,
Oo.
yeah.
Ayun, sabi niya, "Yeah, yeah, I play guitar. This is my guitar." And then he had a photo of his guitar in his wallet. And then, yeah, he actually played for Hungry Poets for a while, and he was also the guitar player of Mojo Fly. His name's Ran
Right,
Golapko. Ayan, so he was my
right.
seatmate. And then, yun siya, it was through him. He said na, I know this guy, his name's Ricky Garango. He's looking for a band. I mean, I can introduce you guys and maybe you can
Okay.
form a band together. So then, ayun lang. So Ricky knocked at my door. He had his shades on and his bass, and he's really good,
Wow.
on the bass. And si Ricky, yun nga, mas ma-experience na siya nun eh. He was already playing with the Jet Pangan group at the time. So this was like in
Yeah, yeah.
between the Dons, when Jet was doing some solo work. And ayun, so it was Ricky who he listened to my songs. We arranged the songs together. We did some demos. And then pag may gig si Jet Pangan, ako yung parang ano nila, intermission number. Pag
Oh,
between
wow,
sets,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
they would let me play like three songs, or I guess three to five songs, something like that, in their
Cool.
intermission. Yeah, and it
Oh,
was in one of those gigs in 70s Bistro. They were
oh.
Yeah, I was playing there in one in their 70s Bistro gig. And then the owner of I forgot if he's the owner, basta si Renan, the owner or maybe the manager of Freedom Bar, which was new at the
Freedom
time.
Bar, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Mm.
was watching at 70s, and then yun, he approached me and sabi niya, "Would you like to have a regular gig at my new bar?" So that was my first gig. Freedom Bar. It was because of